What's up?
Yo, what is going on, man? How we doing?
I'm doing great, bitching about my baby mama, whatever. It's just silly. Like, when did you play games growing up?
I did. Yes, I did play games. I still do play games a little bit, but you know what it is? It's like as I get older, like when I was young, I could play 4 or 5 hours straight and
Me
not
too.
give a fuck
Me too.
and wake up the next day, do it all over again. Like it
Yeah.
didn't matter at all. But now I just can't do that anymore. Like
Same.
I want to do it, but then I start doing it, and like 30 minutes in, I just have like, I'm so guilty. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I should be doing something else with my time. So I want to do it, but I just don't the way I used to.
Well, that's me too. I really want to do it, but man, I just have so much stuff going on, and I got this show, and like I just mentioned, going to see my son and all this stuff, and it's like, I used to sit back. You talk about 4 or 5 hours, in my teen years when I really got into it. I mean, I might be in a 10-hour game session or longer. Madden and all this shit. Like I was deep into the sports video games too. Like I was like. Yeah, that was my shit. But, now I look at it and think, well, maybe that was a waste of time. But, I had a lot of
Right.
fun. GoldenEye,
Oh man, don't get
fucking.
me started with Golden.
Dude, you know what I mean?
Nintendo 64. That
Oh,
was
man.
the
Fucking
bomb.
proximity mimes, Golden Gun. Like, oh, my God. Don't get me started. But, like, every
you know,
kid.
you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. Every kid should have that, but some people disagree, and it is what it is. They're just mad, as I said. They probably popped that balloon, which they, I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But
Well, also gaming isn't like that anymore because, like back in the day, you would get three friends and you would all play a multiplayer game
Yeah.
in the same room, like you play Mario. So
and
it
you'd
was-
be looking
it
at
was
people and like
more-
you're cheating. You're looking at my screen,
Yeah,
like
lots of that going on. Odd Job and GoldenEye, lots of bullshit like that going on. But like the point I was getting at is it used to be more of like a social event, Like
Yeah.
you would actually
You're
hang
right.
out with people in the flesh versus these days, like if you're gonna do multiplayer, like you're playing online and it's just not the same. Like
It's
just
not.
not the same as being in the room with people and like having that face-to-face interaction.
it's not even close to the same. I remember, first off, WWE Warzone was their first WWE game. Of course, WCW. What was it? WCW versus NWO Revenge, and I think there was WCW World Tour. I forget the two N64 games, but like
There was a Nitro one. You might be talking
yeah.
about.
No,
It was-
I bought
It was
Nitro.
like
Yeah, I had
WCW
Nitro.
versus the World or something like that.
Yeah, I had
And
Nitro.
I wasn't even big into wrestling. Like I
But it was
barely know
fun.
much about it.
Yeah.
But there was this one mode. It was Battle Royale.
Yeah.
And it was fucking amazing. It was like
sick.
it was so much fun because you would play 4 players. And like it would randomly assign.
But dude, you had to
every-
buy the multi-tap. Like I had the multi-tap for the original PlayStation, right?
Oh, okay.
I had the multi-tap. So
You were
that
balling that. You were balling. because,
oh
like, the
no, dude,
multi-tap,
yeah.
that
Oh,
was,
my
like-
mom bought me all kinds of shit. Like I had the multi-tap so we could play like I think it was up to 5 players on WWE Attitude and all this stuff. So I don't know. I think every kid should have that, honestly. But other people disagree, and they're just sad sacks. What can I say? Excuse me. Maybe they just have a different view. I shouldn't say
Well,
bad things.
I think in moderation it's fine. I think you do want to be careful, like especially like with young children, like because looking back, I'm sure you feel the same way. Like I probably did spend more
Yeah, I
time
did.
than I should
I
have.
should have been reading.
playing video
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yeah, I could have been reading. I could have been doing math. I could have been, I don't know, constructing things. So maybe
I
not the best use of
wasted
time.
like probably 1,000+ hours. No shit. Like I mean, on games. Like I remember those times. They were so much fun. Dynasty mode on NCAA football. Like I was a sports guy, and so like Madden and all this, and we would have all of our friends in the same room, like you said, and we would all be building our teams, and like so it was a community event. But yeah, I look back now and perhaps, I should have been reading, some philosophy or political treatises and stuff like that. But I had a lot of fun with it. And so I don't know. But fuck Andy Worski.
Absolutely, 100%. Fuck Andy Worski. So let me begin by saying, originally when I was asked, last week I was asked to join you for the Fuck Worski Festival, and I have a confession to make. At first I did bitch out a little bit, and here's why. As people know, I'm somewhat active on X, not really. I have a lot going on in my personal life that takes up most of my time. But I do still dabble in the sector here and there. You guys see me on the timeline here and there. And also, as you know, I've been dealing with these fucking lunatics for almost 2 years now, despite the fact that I've streamed, I think, twice since June 2023. Do you hear me, by the way?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, okay, I'm just listening. Yeah. Okay. You're good.
So you know what it is? It's like as much as I would like to participate, every single time I get involved, it's like kicking up the dust, and all the psychopaths come out of the woodwork to, do the shit that they do. So, when you first asked me, I was like, do I really feel like provoking their ire? Do I really feel like doing that? So I did kind of bitch out at first, and I do want to apologize for my initial cowardice. But then I was tuned in, obviously. I was listening to Styx, who, by the way, seems like a really cool guy. I'm not going to shit talk him at all. But he was
a little nice, though, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was a little kind. And the thing is, it's like, hey, Styx, not talking shit on Styx, but it's like, this is the Fuck Worski Festival, okay? This isn't like the Be Nice to Worski Festival. This isn't like the Cole Worski Talented Festival, downplay Worski's culpability and blame it all on Ashton Festival. That's not what this is. This is the Fuck Worski Festival, where we get belligerent, we spurg out, we melt out, we say
That's the whole point.
Talk shit.
Yeah.
Right, that's the point.
And we have so much material. Perspic and all the guys, I have so much stuff lined up that we haven't even got to. But yeah, this is the Fuck Worski Festival, and I understand Styx, he hasn't heard everything Worski said and all this stuff, but it's Worski hates you, dude. And I'm not bad mouthing Styx, but yeah, I feel the same way.
Well, so I understand where Styx is coming from, because another part of the reason why initially I wasn't going to do this is because when it comes to talking shit about the Kino Casino, I feel really I'm personally because the thing about Worski is to me personally, the guy is a non-entity, and I'm not saying that to talk shit, but he's literally a zero to me. When I'm talking shit on the Kino Casino, I'm talking shit on Ashton Parks, PPP, because really, he's the brains behind the operation. He's the guy pulling the strings. He's the guy calling the shots. That isn't to say that Worski isn't culpable, like Styx might say, because as you pointed out to Styx, Worski, he goes along with all of it. He has the ability to say, hey, wait a second, Ashton, why are we doing this? Why are we attacking RPG? Is an RPG an ally? He didn't do that. He went along with it. He pushed the gay ops just as hard as Ashton did. So while I understand Styx's angle of PPP is the true villain, and that is the case, he's the ultimate scumbag and he is the one calling the shots. But at the same time, Tartsky, he's participating in all of it.
You know who the true villain is? It's Andy Worski.
You think so?
Yeah. And now he can't carry the show by himself. But you talk about manipulators. You talk about scumbags. The real villain is actually Andy Worski. You talk about the Vegas tranny fanny party that they had. You talk about all the debauchery. And by God, I don't sit here and claim to be, what was it, St. Augustine who said, deliver me to the Lord, but just not yet, or whatever. I forget the quote. Just wait a little bit, right? I got it wrong, but you understand the meaning.
Right, yeah.
You'd probably know the quote. But I don't claim that, but Worski's actually not as dumb as he portrays himself. He is dumb, but not as dumb. And he counts the money, and he actually wants to see me dead because he knows like I'm the one person that can actually take him down, because I don't give a fuck and I'll keep going until I'm dead and fucking actually see him dead. And like I don't care. Like I want to see him gone off this earth. Don't support violence, of course, but I want to live to see him buried. And he knows that. And he knows that I'm more talented than him. He knows I'm more talented than PPP, quite frankly. And, I got my own demons, there's some things that set me back here and there. But, like, somebody messaged me last night and they said, I watched the Kino Casino when I was mad at you and I'd said some shit about them or whatever. And they said, and I don't want to deny it, but they can never touch people, and I don't mean in the pedophilic way like Cog. I mean they can never reach people on a deeper level like you can, and they never have been able to. And so whatever they want to say about you, like you connect on a different level that they can't, and they don't even try because it's all a Carnival Barker show, right? Like, yeah. I have my Carnival Barker moments too, but like, you also see me talk that real shit, and I've talked some of it today, right? And they don't have that capability, and most people, unfortunately, Josh doesn't either. Like, most people in this sector don't have that skill, and I feel like some of the heat you took was because, like, first off, you were just great at what you did, right? In terms of like research and finding clips and doing, filling up their coffers without them giving you any of the money, by the way. And also, like, you're a real guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could sit there and watch your stream, and of course we had all kinds of shit. And, I said shit about your mom, you talk shit about my mom, whatever. Like, that's all behind us, obviously. But like, I could sit there and watch Ted, and I could say, this is a real guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's just on air and he's having fun with it, and he's actually done his research, like hours and hours of research, and he went through all these shows. Some of these shows, even now, they're super fucking long, right? Like, it's like, that takes a lot of fucking work to do. And they weren't willing to do the work, and so they were jealous of you, and they kind of helped kill off their own grift. You notice they don't really talk about America First anymore, because you were the guy who was going through and finding all the clips and like stirring up all the trouble. Like, you notice I didn't spend too much time here and there, fucking with Casino when they got knocked the fuck out and all that shit. But like, mostly I was focused on you because you were effective, right? And the reason, and all this now, I did reveal you on air and all that stuff. Now, I didn't find that out myself. It was passed along.
Yeah, no, we discussed all that.
Yeah, we know all that. We know all that.
It's not even a thought in my mind. Like, we both know why things went down the way that they did. There's no hard feelings at all on that.
I wish I hadn't done it now. But
no, but you know what? That's the way it goes, right? Like, I was rustling some feathers, and obviously, like, am I glad it happened?
Things happen. No, yeah, you were on the field, and it's my old saying: if you're on the field, you want to play, right? And so I still feel bad about it though, because I look at you and I think about these fucking freak weirdo Canadians who wish they were Americans and who have no knowledge of politics, or like, you and I and Fuentes even, and America First. And I'm not trying to glaze these guys, but I still have a lot of good memories with those guys. And like, we actually understand politics, Jaden not included, by the way. But like, I see goals. I see thoughts that just wouldn't occur to these morons. And I see a person, I said this earlier today, like imagine you and I like on the same team. Like if it had just been a little bit of a switch, or that thing hadn't happened where you fell out with, like, we could have easily been a team. You know what I mean? Because we have like, we're totally different in terms of like personality, I guess. Right? Like I'm a loudmouth, you know, former fat fuck. I'm a lot slimmer now. But you know, I'm that shit talking guy, and you know, I'll turn it up. But like, yeah, we have the same sense of humor though, and we can play off each other, and we can read each other's beats. And I've been in this business so long that it's so rare for that to occur. Like there's only 5 to 6 people that I've ever streamed with that can like read where I'm going and understand where I'm going. And so I don't know. I just apologize for it on air. And you know, this stuff about your mom, I mean, like what's the worst thing you could say? And again, I'm not trying to offend you. Oh, your mom's hot. Like, I mean, okay. Wow, what a burn. You know, right? Like, I mean, okay. But I don't know. You can fill in what you think on this, but I've thought about it a lot.
Like, as far as that stuff goes, like, you know, I could get into it. I feel like that would just be a detour.
I do
too. I don't even want to take right now.
That's fine. That's fine.
You know, plus, you know, we discussed it previously. Like, it's water under the bridge for me. I know, like, you know, the haters, they're listening right now.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my God, RPG is such a cuck, and he's glazing Ralph, and he's sucking him off. And it's like, okay, look, like, I know what happened. I know the way things went down. I was there, you know, like I experienced it all firsthand. You know, you were just like, at the time, you were allied with Nick, with America First, right? And I was warring with Nick, with America First. And like, this is what happens, you know? And do I put the blame square at your feet? Honestly, no, I don't. And I don't feel like getting into that because, you know, as far as Nick
is just drags up
I
old memories.
don't beef with him anymore
You're
either.
right.
And I know that's something else that drives them fucking insane. But
well,
I don't,
they think I should hate him too. Like, and it's like, I don't actually. I feel a lot of fondness for those times. And I'm not talking about the times, you know, us fighting or whatever, but like, we had some good times, man. And honestly, you said this yourself. Like, I agree with him on about like 85% of what he says anyway. Not all the Trump stuff. I mean, Trump's a Zionist tool. I mean, that's true. But like, I don't know. He's about the best we can get right now, in my opinion. But like, I don't know. I see that time. I think of Ralph Mania. I think of that 2022 year, and it was golden. Like, I don't know. That was one of my favorite years of streaming. And so, you know, had I not fallen off like completely into like the drug abyss, I'd probably still be in with them right now. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still hopeful that is a bridge that could get mended eventually. You know, like we discussed it privately. I think it's sort of like a political thing for Nick, and he's got people. You know, like there's groypers and
well, a lot of them still hate me. Yeah, it's true, but not all though. Not all. I'd say it's about 50-50. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but like as far as like all the stuff we're talking about right now, you know, like I always say the biggest difference to me between like, you know, my beef with America First, like Nick, my former beef with you, and like my current beef with the A-Lugs is like, you know, when Nick and, you know, Groypers did what they did to me, it's like at least there was a fucking basis for it. You know, that doesn't mean it's moral or ethical or justified, but at least there was a fucking basis.
At least it made sense, right?
Right, yeah. Exactly. And like, so that's by far the biggest difference to me between my beef with, you know, my former beef with America First and my current beef with like all these fucking psychopaths who are like, there was never any basis for that. And I know that fat fuck Ashton, he claims like, oh, RPG was criticizing us. I wasn't criticizing. Like, it was your own fucking audience that was criticizing you because they were missing shows like week after week after week, and there was always these excuses. Oh, we're working on the studio. Oh, well, wait till you see this new studio. It's gonna blow. And like,
And it
they
sucked.
were missing shows over and over again, and people, they would tune into my stream because like I was the only person covering the topics that like they might cover, and everybody's asking me like RPG, where's the Kino Casino? And I was like, I was trying to like, I hate to even say this because it's fucking cringe, but I was basically sweeping for them, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, they'll be back, guys. You know, they're just, so I was fucking making excuses for them, and then Ashton, after he signal boosts my docs for no fucking reason, because Gabe Hoffman told him to, and also because, you know, it was orchestrated by some gay log, so I'm not going to name, but everybody knows who they are. You know, I even have screenshots of these people admitting that it was orchestrated. Like, they don't even, and now they take credit for it. So at the time, everybody wanted to gaslight me and say like, oh, RPG's out of his fucking mind. You know, like I was spurging out and I was melting down and I was having a conniption. Turns out that like now they all proudly take credit for it.
It's funny because, you know, I've taken the Machiavellian credit for like throwing the grenade in, right? And saying, hey, why don't we just make peace? And like, it was a Machiavellian move, but it was also serious. It was like,
oh, between you and me?
Yeah. It was it's like, why are we fighting? Like, who cares? Like, this is dumb. Like, we're talking about each other's moms. Like, who, like, and they,
well, let me be honest too.
They killed you for that.
So like,
yeah.
Let me be honest too. So at the time, you know, when I said it, like I was saying that among my mods, half of them are, you know, like they snaked on me by now. So I could say this and it doesn't even matter. But at the time when I said that, you know, I said I had to put up a Machiavellian front, right?
Sure.
Because like you're Ethan Ralph and Ethan Ralph is bad.
Right.
Hold on, I'll let that run. Is it playing? I can't hear it.
No, you're good.
Can I keep going?
Is there something playing?
I
can't hear it. Did a super chat go through? I can't hear it if it did.
I heard a cha-ching.
Cha-ching? Okay, well, I'll look because I like cha-chings. I'll look and make sure.
Oh, wait, maybe that was, I think I just sold something.
Oh, Grugman.
You got a super chat. I just sold something. My bad. False alarm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll pay my tithe later. But anyway.
But they turn on you. So my whole point is Worski and them. So people don't understand. First off, I'll say what I believe. Like obviously everybody knows your name is Feezer, right? And so, like, I think that's a really catchy name, honestly. And like, it's a name that can sell. And you could have put that on shirts. You could have went everywhere with that. Like, that could have been a thing. Like that's
merchandising opportunity.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I'm not joking at all. And they did it to diminish you, though. They didn't do it to, let's poke a little fun at him and he's our friend and this and that. It was to bring you down because you were taking Jaden's donuts. Jaden doesn't even stream anymore because he's a fucking loser. And so, like, people, I feel like, I don't want to go on the, TED Defense Force. Actually, I do. But, like, it's from your own side. They're trying to ruin you for no reason, and you were the guy moving the needle the whole fucking time, right? And so,
so what I think it is this. What I think was starting, I was starting to get more attention among the A-Log circles, like the Kiwi Farm circles, like Mediker started tuning into my stream.
Yeah.
He would send super chats. And like, looking back on it, I think that Ashton, like they all worship Mediker. So like the fact that I'm getting a fucking crumb of positive attention from their god, Mediker, like I think when Ashton saw that, I think like, he's deeply insecure. He's deeply jealous of other people. Like
yes.
When I was listening to Styx's story, it sounded like a one-to-one reflection of, what happened to me, like what he did to Godwinson, what he did to Surfer. Like the guy's he's a loose cannon. He's a scumbag. He's a loose cannon. He fucks over, like, he doesn't have any friends. Worski isn't his friend. Worski's just a useful, like, Worski is the monkey. He's the ape that hits start in OBS and end in OBS. Like that's
it.
it. Like that's the only
And how
reason.
dumb can you be not to be able to use OBS?
Yeah.
By the way, but
no,
that's another story. But yeah.
He's pathetically lazy. He is so lazy that he is willing to give up 50% of his income to Andrew Retardsky just so he doesn't have to learn OBS ever. That's how fucking lazy he is. He doesn't need Tardsky around. Tardsky doesn't add anything to the show at all. Like, even when I used to watch, every time Tardsky would open his mouth, I couldn't wait for him to stop talking. Like, literally every single time he uttered a word, I was just like, when the fuck is this going to stop? I don't care what he has to say about anything. He never has anything worth hearing to say. He's not funny at all. He is like, I know everybody calls him Tardsky, but like, that's what he is. He's a fucking moron. And he's fake as fuck because like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before he snaked on me, he's in my DMs and he's like, hey, RPG, you know, he's like on vacation or something. He was definitely drunk off his ass on boxed wine. That I know for sure, because like, you know, we really honestly didn't talk very much. Like, we were allies, but just like Stick said, where it's like, you know, we're allies, but we're not, or like you said, like we're not boating together. Like we're not Christmasing. I liked that, by the way. We're not Christmasing together, you know, but at the same time, like, you know, when you're a streamer, you know who your allies are, you know who your enemies are. And it's like, when you're allies with somebody, it doesn't mean that like you're fucking like, you know, you're chilling 24/7, you're in constant contact with them. You just know who you're cool with. So, you know, I knew that, or I thought I knew that I was cool with the Kino Casino. And then, so that reminds me. So like a point that I wanted to clarify, I kind of came in and I was saying like, oh,
yeah,
like,
I got it off topic. That's my fault, by the way. But yeah, go ahead.
No. We're covering all the bases. So I got no problem with that at all. But I came in and I was talking about like, oh, how I kind of pinned the blame on Ashton and not on Worski, but I specifically said, you know, personally speaking, that's where I'm coming from, because like I really don't have any history with Tardsky specifically. Like, I know, like, you definitely have a history. I know, like, Kyler, like, he has a history. I know many others in the sector do have a history with the guy. So I don't want to sound at all like I'm running cover for him, or I'm trying to sweep, or, you know, say his hands are clean, because they're definitely not. Like, when you say he is, you know, as big of a scumbag, yes, or like, you know, possibly even worse than Ashton, like, I believe you 100%. Like, I'm not even doubting that.
Right.
All I'm saying is, like, for me personally, you know, my personal, you know, ire, or whatever you want to call it, is mostly reserved for Ashton, because really, as far as I'm concerned, really all Tardsky was doing was going along. That's really all he ever does, but he was going along with Ashton's marching orders, because like he had no other reason to come after me.
Yeah, and again, it was such a short-sighted move too, right? Because I'm glad it happened, because, like, you know, it kind of woke you up to their bullshit, and it woke me up too, because it's like, if they'll do this to like their top guy, really the guy who's doing all the moves, like, there's no loyalty there whatsoever. Like, it's total just dog eat dog. And, you know, when I went on the anti-AF crusade, and, you know, I've said this before, I said this in private actually last night, I wish I hadn't have done that, because there was really no need for that. But, you know, I did it and I have to live with it, whatever. But you know, you look at you look at what they did to you, a supposed ally, and they just burn you for no reason.
Worldwide Web,
I'll let this go through.
Sent $1 on Rumble.
No.
Has Tonka replied back yet?
Tonka has not replied back yet. I'm still hoping for that, but it woke me up, and it's like, first off, you know, whatever you think about America First, like, some people here like them, some people don't, but they supported me to the hilt through there were a few detractors or whatever, but like they supported me through a lot, and it just caught me at a bad time, right? And there were other people in my ear, and I did what I did. I don't, I can't take it back. It is what it is. But I think about now, and I talked about The Wire, and it's like you go from controlling the whole West Side. If you've ever seen The Wire, right?
That was a great analogy.
Yeah. Hold on,
Boy,
let's just play.
Shut It Down sent $1 on Rumble. Kardsky is only funny when he says he edits 18
He
hours
said
a
he
day.
edits 24 hours a day like 2 days ago, and I'm like, okay, that's not even possible, but okay.
And he's in the gym the other 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 6
right.
hours, 6 hours.
But you go from controlling the whole West Side, and you have all these guys behind you, and now you're fighting for your corners, right? Your 2 or 3 corners, and I've held my corners, right? But like it's different, If I had that army behind me, they would already be done, honestly. And Nick and Beerson, all these people, like, Beerson unblocked me, and he wished me well in my rehab and all this stuff. And, that means a lot to me. You know who didn't do any of that? Worski, any of these people. They want to see me dead. And so I talked about humanity. And people, if you don't like Nick, that's fine. If you don't like America First, that's fine. I don't police that. But what I'm saying is these people, and you too, by the way, reached out to me and said, wow, that was a really powerful video you put out. That really meant something. And, that got played by Paul Town and all kinds of other people. And Paul Town, I knew him before America First, right? But like, there's humanity, and there's just, evil, and it's all about money. And of course we all want to make money. We all want to support ourselves off this, but like, I think that should be taken into account. And, others might disagree, and they may hate Nick enough or whatever. That's fine. I don't actually hate Nick Fuentes, and I don't hate America First. I sit back and think about 2022. Minus, I wish the stuff with us wouldn't have happened, but like, it was a great year, and it culminated with Ralphomania, and then things went down from there, right? But like, I think that was one of the greatest years of the Killstream, honestly, and so I don't sit here and like, oh God, I'm so mad at these people, and I hope they die, and oh, they're such pieces of shit. I don't think that. So,
well, because like you processed all of like obviously at the time, like things got heated. Like you were emotional. Like both sides were emotional. And you processed all that, and then like you process things, and then you move on. That's what people who are like, oh, you worship Nick. I don't fucking worship Nick Fuentes. I agree. Like, I like the guy. I agree with his fucking political opinion. Like, that's it. That's it. Like, I don't consider myself a groiper. I'm not counter-signaling the groipers, but I don't consider myself a groiper. And the reason for that is because, like, the thing about, like, being a groiper is if you're a groiper, then, like, you basically, like, whatever Nick's opinion is on a thing has to be your opinion.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't like that. Personally, like, I like to decide for myself if I agree or disagree. And, for example, like, Nick has been like extremely critical of Donald Trump, like the second term, on his show as of late. And, I do think that, like,
some of what he says is right, but like also it's like I don't agree with it all. I'll just say, right? Like what he says about most pro-Zionist cabinet in history and stuff like that. I mean, he's not really wrong about what he's saying, but also it's like, were we gonna get any better with Kamala? No. And so like, that's just my opinion. And you're right, when you're in the groiper sphere, it's like, oh, if you're counter-signaling Nick, you're a piece of shit, and this and that, and No, I just disagree. I have my own political opinions, and I went to school and have a degree in those, and it doesn't make me any special. A lot of people have political science degrees, by the way, but like, I don't know. It was a fun time in my life. It feels like another life, though, and had a certain relationship going on, and that thing was falling apart when the turn happened and all that, and a certain British individual in my ear at the same time, and it's like, without all those things happening at the same time, it never would have happened. And so, I can feel bad that it happened. A lot of people really supported me from that group. And I do feel bad that some of them feel like I let them down. But, you can't take it back. You just have to keep going. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've been remorseful. I think you've taken accountability for the things that happened. It's unfortunate, you acknowledge that. But it wasn't just you, right? Like there was blame to go around, I think it's fair to say.
Well, and again, you're being very diplomatic. They tried to run me out of town, and this British guy who I've known for 11 years, and he said, "You can't be run out of town. You're the alpha male. If you're run out of town, you're ruined." And that resonated with me because in a way it was right. You know what I mean? Like, if you get punked out and you get run out of town, like, who are you now? Right? Like, you're not the alpha male. You're not who you put yourself out there as. And so, I bought into that. I feel bad because a lot of those people I still like and I even still love. And I feel bad that maybe some of them don't feel that way anymore. But I don't know. Shit happened. It is what it is. But Andy Worski is an abortionist and killed his kid and raped a bitch and, tried to fuck a 15-year-old. So, I can stick with that for sure.
Yeah, maybe with time, things could change with the AF situation.
Yeah, who knows?
But getting back to Andrew Warski, which is what we're all here for today. There was one point that you made that I actually wanted to respond to, which is basically like, you were talking about how like you connect with your audience, like in particular with that, not infamous because that's like a negative connotation, but with that now famous clip that you uploaded before rehab. And I mean, that resonated very deeply with me. That resonated very deeply with basically everybody. Like even like your worst haters, I think, were like, wow, like Ralph is an actual human being and not this piece of shit that like we've, dehumanized him into. That's something that like, Ashton and Tardsky, like they don't have that with their audience. They'll never have that with their audience because like they're not real human beings. They're swindlers. Like they are like modern day snake oil salesmen. I mean, all I have to do is bring up the fact that like, like we have those leaked DMs, and what is Ashton saying in the leaked DMs? He's literally like, this isn't all RPGs making like. Look at the DMs for yourself, okay? It's black and white. It's very plain to see. He's literally devising a scheme, a scam, a con job to defraud his audience, Joshua Galt, Joey Beezer. He is coming up with this scheme to siphon, to defraud his most loyal, ardent, dedicated supporters out of $100,000 so that he can what? Like go on vacation to Seattle?
$100K, by the way. And I said,
that's
you know what?
Crazy.
$25K, you know what? That's still crazy, but like at least I can say, all right, $25K, that's flights, that's hotel, that's food. Whatever, DSP gets a little cut, but like $100,000. Are you fucking serious? Like, there are people dying from cancer who could use $100,000. And again, I'm not trying to moralize, but like, it's just fucking insane.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, it's one thing if you want to like if you want to be a scumbag to like, Teddy Feezer, right? If they want to be a scumbag to Teddy Feezer, like they want to have fun, like, shitting on me for absolutely no reason, that's one thing. But like you're talking about stealing from your supporters. Like the reason why you have any money at all, not that they have much. I know people say that they make good money.
Well, they split it first off, and then yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, like, let's see their bank accounts. Like, we know that Ashton Tartsky, we know they're blowing it all, like, drugs and food and whatever, debauchery, gambling. Ashton's a degenerate gambler. Like, let's see the bank accounts. Let's see the investment accounts. They don't have shit, okay? They just scrape by. They get some super chat. They do a show. They get some super chats. They blow it all. They go live again just because they need more money to blow. Like, that's who these people are. Let's just be honest about it, okay? So. And here they are talking about stealing from their supporters. That like these are the people. They're the reason why you exist.
They call them marks.
Yeah. Yes.
Because they are.
Like, they are. And like he says it like openly, like it's a joke. He's not joking. We have the receipts. Like this is actually what he thinks of you. Like. And it also calls into question everything else because it's like, okay, well, if this was one scheme he was devising, like, do we think this is the first scheme that he's come up with? Like, how long has this pawn show been running for now? And it seems like the people that watch the Chomo Casino, they don't really seem to care because, every once in a while we reveal a casino associate and we come to learn who these people are.
What about Beezer? And I told this joke yesterday, and you said, "By God, thank God I don't have a name like Beezer." And nobody got it except me in the group chat. And I started laughing my ass off because. But what about Beezer?
Joey Beezer. I'll be honest. I mean, I really honestly don't know much about the guy other than he is a complete and total loser who's apparently giving Ashton and Tartsky like tens of thousands of dollars for like a friend simulation, which is also what Joshua Galt is doing. But you know what? Like if you're financing the Kino Casino after everything that they did to like me, then I consider you an enemy, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do behind the scenes to get equal. And if people they hear that, they're out. No, these people, they could do anything they want to you or me, right? They could do anything they want. But if you defend yourself, like if you as much as lift a finger, then it's oh no, look what
Life Ruination. Oh my God. Yeah.
So it's like fuck.
And by the way, I doxed Worski. I'll say this on air. I doxed Worski on my Telegram account yesterday.
Based as fuck.
And I did that on purpose. And
Can we get the air horn? Get the air horn.
Yeah. Can we? Actually, we do have the air horn.
Let's get one of those. Just repeat. There we fucking go.
Yeah, I did that on purpose because that's the type of shit they do, and they had no problems, And by the way, I don't know your living situation, but from what I understand, you don't even live there anymore. But whatever, it's your, people live there, right? And they're trying to fuck with you and trying to intimidate you. Okay, well, let's do some intimidation of our own, right? And so. People will say, "Oh, Ralph's a bad guy. Ralph's a bad guy. How dare he dox Worski's?" And by the way, he just moved down the hall from his parents' whatever condo. He lives in the same building, and so
that's another thing. Real quick, sorry to jump in, but real quick,
go ahead. Don't be sorry.
They made up this tall tale fantasy about my life, which I could have corrected the record in 3 seconds flat.
Sure. But why?
I never
don't give them the info.
Like, in order for me to correct the record,
you'd have to show your address.
Yeah. Right. So it's like I have to further expose my privacy. So it's like it sucks because you don't want people believing made up bullshit about you. But it's a trap. It's a lose-lose situation because it's like I could debunk what the haters are saying about me, but by doing that, they're not going to correct the record, right? Because they're not trying to be honest. They're just trying to defame me. They're just trying to harass me. So all I'm really doing is benefiting them. All I'm really doing is giving them exactly what they want from me, and then they're just going to use that new information against me. So it's I don't comment on these things. It's actually it sucks. It does suck. For people to believe this shit, but I guess that's the way
It
it
is
goes
what it is,
online.
man. You know what? I learned a long time ago, and when I do a bit, like they call it kayfabe, and I call it kayfabe sometimes too, but like it's obvious kayfabe, right? Like it's obviously a joke. Like if you're too stupid to understand that, like that's your problem. But I try to make it very obvious that's a joke. The whole Ian Miles Strong flashbang, that was a total joke. Like if you believe that, you're stupid. Like I don't know what to say. Like I mean, it was funny. Like but like. Even Wild Goose is an old friend of mine. Like it was a joke. He's laughing while he says it on air. The Cog funeral, that was a joke. Like, but their whole entire shtick is kayfabe. It's all made up bullshit. And so, I'm not above doing a bit that's, not totally true, right? Like it's a skit. It's a comedy skit. This is supposed to be a funny show, right? And so. There's a place for that, but when your whole show is that, I don't want that. Like that's
Also,
that's
I
fakery
think
to
the
me.
difference is they're trying to pass it all off as real.
Yeah, I know. That's the difference. Yeah, you're
like
right.
in the DMs, Ashton's like, "Oh, but don't worry, like this isn't going to be admissible in court, and it's all theatrics." So he's basically just saying like it's fake as fuck. Like we're fake as fuck, and to put a bow tie on the point that I was making with that is. Like they can't connect with their audience the way that you do because like you're a real human being. Like you're not afraid. You're actually not afraid to, okay, like, you're the alpha male, you're the bulldog, like you're the, like you're the king of the jungle, king of the sector and all that. But at the same time, like you're not afraid on occasion to, like this is going to sound gay as fuck, but like put your emotions on your
My
sleeve.
heart is on my sleeve, dude. And, there's a certain birthday tomorrow. I won't get into it. But everybody knows. The real motherfuckers know what I'm talking about. And I don't like, could I like leave that out? Yeah, I could, but that's not who I am. And I don't want to be that person. And I feel like I connect with my people more by being that real person than being the fake person. And yeah, they're still the Ralph Mail promos. They're not fake, but like they're amped up or whatever. But I just feel
that's not fake. I mean, you're a performer.
Yeah,
you're
right.
a broadcaster. That's not
But
fake.
people
That's
are
just
going
like,
through these things in real life. Like they might not get to see. I'm not saying anything about any supposed daughters, but maybe they haven't got to see their daughter in 2 years. Maybe they are battling, to see their son when they want. Maybe they are battling drug addiction. You don't. Maybe you do know. I think I might have told you. I get messages all the time from people, and they say, Kino Casino this, Kino Casino that, but they can't connect with me in a way that you can, because good, bad, or indifferent. And sometimes it's bad. Like it's true. But like it's all out there, and this is real life shit that they're afraid to even touch because they're so attached to their internet persona, right? Like they can't even go there, right?
yeah. Plus, I think a big difference is like I think like you have sincere like respect and like admiration and like
Yes.
you sincerely like your audience.
I do.
Versus we look at the Kino Casino like open contempt, talking down on them, talking shit on them. I mean, okay. This is who Ashton Parks is. So like Joshua Gold, Medic or Masochist, right? Like I'm pretty sure he's like their top donator, right? Like he's donated probably over $100,000 at this point. If I had to guess, like just a complete lunatic. But anyway, so like this guy has given them more money probably than all their other donators combined, if I had to guess. They went to Vegas. We all know the story, right, Ashton? He was. Oh, by the way, you forgot to mention the fact that Ashton was in the cuck chair, fondling himself while Worski was shoving.
Dude, he was literally jacking
penis.
off in the cuck chair while Worski was like pushing naked. They were both naked, dick to ass, while he was pushing this other guy into a negress hooker.
I hope Styx is still tuned in because that's an important detail that he needs to know, just in case he ever retells that story. But anyway, so they went to Vegas, right? Ashton, Joshua Gold, everybody else, and I forgot. I think Kyler was the one who revealed this. That Ashton stole money, stole cash, like
Yes.
$100.
No, it
I
was
don't
like
know
a
if it,
$300 chip is what it was, I think.
Oh, right,
yeah.
right. Yes, yes,
And
yes,
then he
yes,
acted
yes,
like he
yes.
couldn't find it, and then he's like, "Oh, here it is. Yeah, da da da."
Yes,
And a
yes,
$300
yes.
chip is like it's $300 in Vegas. You go turn it into the cashier. I've been to Vegas fucking 20 times, so like, yeah, I mean that's money in the bank, right?
Right, yeah. So like here you have a guy who is giving you well over 100 grand, and you're fucking, and not to mention you're on an all expenses paid trip, right? Because Josh he funded the full thing, and you're still like, what the I cannot even comprehend. I cannot even like that thought would never even cross my mind to do
To
something
steal
like this.
from a
Is
guy who had already given me so much, like no.
yeah.
First off,
Yeah,
to
like,
steal anyway, but like if you're gonna steal,
right.
you're stealing from the guy who like gave you like a $25,000 suite, and he's paying for all your meals, which was probably a lot of fucking money for this fat fuck. And you know, like, yeah, I agree. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's bizarre.
No. So like, absolutely. So it's like, obviously, like you said, like you shouldn't steal regardless. But it's one thing. It's one thing to steal from a stranger
Right.
versus like this guy is your top donator. Like this guy thinks he's your best friend because like he's paying for your friendship. So he thinks he's your best friend, and like you're stealing from him. And like this is somebody that people want to support, and this is somebody people are going to listen to when it comes to like me and you and like whoever else they attack. Sticks, whoever else, and like you're going to listen to a word he has to say about like that's never even we're just not the same. Okay, we're just not the same. Like the guy's a total piece of shit, and but the bigger point that I was making there is like that's who Ashton is, and that's why like he can't connect with his audience the same way that you do, because like he has that in him, and like the Ralph male, the thought would never occur like
Never.
to the Ralph male.
You know
to do
how many
something like
people
that.
have like hooked me up, and we done Airbnbs. I paid my share. Sometimes they're just like, "Don't worry about it. I'll pay it. Whatever." Would I ever think about stealing from those people? No, I'd rather slit my wrist. Like these people, and again, I'm gonna do a show with DSP and all this, but like I've said this on air a million times. Like if I came on this show and said, "Look, man, I need your help," it might be over if I don't get it right. And I would never say that unless like I had to say that, because it's embarrassing, and it would be, I just wouldn't do that. That's just unless I had to. If I had to, I would. But I don't respect bilking the audience, bleeding the audience for no reason. Like we hit our goals, and I'm good. You know what I mean? Like I'm fine. Like I don't really spend that much money. Like believe it or not, like I don't have wasted a little bit here and there. A trip to Rome would have been a lot better without somebody else. Now that I think about it, but he got it. But regardless, I have wasted a little bit money, but most of that was on travels like worldwide and things that I wanted to see. I went to Madrid and Portugal. Portugal was a little crazy, but I still love Portugal. Madrid, the Royal Palace, El Prado, British Museum. Like, I mean, I try to edify myself. Like, I like that type of shit. And people hear my voice and they hear that I'm a Southerner and they know I'm country and whatever. But, like, that's the shit that's always, like, motivated me. I like learning. I like talking to people who are smarter than me. I like seeing things. The Goya exhibit at the El Prado, like that's like a once in a lifetime. Well, unless you go back. But like it's something you I took a couple pictures, but they don't do it. It doesn't do it justice, man. When
It
you're
really
in there,
doesn't.
no.
You could look at 1,000 pictures online,
Nah,
but like
man.
when you're there in the flesh, it's like it's a total game changer.
And they darken the room, and only the pictures are illuminated. And if you're not big on painting, whatever, but like it's I won't say out of body experience, but it's like.
No, but in a way it is. It's like surreal.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
like, wow, like
It's
how
like-
does this even exist?
Yes, and you see, you see Velasquez. Fuck, I can't think of the painting right now. Shit. I could have told you this a minute ago, but Velasquez, a very famous painter in Spain. It's El Meninas, actually, is the name of it. And you see this, and this picture basically, helped spawn an entire genre of art. And you go to the Royal Palace Museum. Go ahead.
Raven Rain 8 just subscribed on Rumble.
Thank you for that. Add that to the tally, Raven. Thank you. Let's
go. By the way, can we get some motherfucking super chats in this bitch right now for the Fuck Warski Festival? If you're enjoying this call, let's get some super chats going. Come on, guys.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I'll add Raven, but there's a first off, there's a ton of Goya at the Royal Palace. Goya has so many different periods, like where he was like the royal, the court painter, basically. And there's so much variety there. I'm trying to think of the solo painting. I just want to make sure I get it right. They actually restored this painting, Caravaggio. There's a Caravaggio painting at the Royal Palace of Madrid, and it's the John the Baptist painting, actually. And so it has John the Baptist's head on a platter, and it has the young maid holding the platter of his head. And then in the background, thank you.
Grubman sent $5 on Rumble.
Thank you. No,
Unblock Real Bull Grubman on Twitter RPG.
All right, there you go. Unblock him. He's a good guy. But it's a painting that you might not understand at first blush, right? So the painting, it's about John the Baptist, of course, and his head being put on the silver platter, but it's also about like the nature of aging and women, and the heads on the platter there, and it shows the young maid in the foreground, and it shows the old maid in the background. It's like the nature of aging. I'm gonna pull this up because it's like, if you see this in person, like I hate to be such a mark for, I actually don't hate it, I love it, but like and this is the type of stuff like that I never would have gotten to do or see if it wasn't for this game. And I know this game's fucked up, and it's a nasty game, but you see this, and you see how I don't know if you can see it on your screen right now, but that's John the Baptist's head on the platter there, and there's the young maid holding it, and the old maid looking over her shoulder, but it's almost like she's coming out of her head, right? It's almost like a transformation from young to old, but it's two separate people, and it's both about John the Baptist, but it's also about the nature of youth and beauty, and how fleeting it is, right? And how if you build your whole life around that, like that's not really what it's about. And I hate to get so deep into this sort of thing, but I saw this in person, right? And they restored it at the Royal Palace of Madrid, which is, God, it's as good as the Vatican. Honestly, I've been to the Vatican too, but it's just so awesome, and I hope people saw that for a second, because like when you see things like that, that's Western culture. Like people talk about saving Western culture, and what's worth saving. These are the things that made Western culture. These are the things worth saving, and promoting, right? And so I don't want to sound like such an art mark, but I saw that in person, and I was stunned. And El Meninas also saw what is it, LaGuardia, I believe, Picasso. I wasn't huge on modern art, but I saw LaGuardia at the Sofia Reina Museum in Madrid. And so at first I'm like, Picasso, like, I don't know, like whatever. But when you see that in person, and it's as big, like I'm looking at my wall right now, and I don't live in a shack, believe it or not. But it's the size of both of these walls right here, like this wall and the wall in the other room, and people come up and see it, and it's just wild to see in person, and it's about the Civil War in Italy. I'm saying it wrong, by the way. It's just the fuck. Can I say it right? I don't know. I'll try to get it right. But it's just amazing to see. And, I didn't go to the Tate Museum. I went to the British Museum when I was in London. I didn't go to the Tate because I'm like, you know what? Fuck modern art. I don't care. And a lot of it does suck, to be honest. But
Yeah, a lot of it's bullshit.
A lot of it's bullshit, but it's not all bullshit. Like there is
True.
right? You know what I mean? Like I would say a good, 70, 80% is bullshit, but some of it is like actually really striking. And especially, Picasso's Picasso, right? And he could do both different, he could do both things too, right? Anyway, that's my art. That's my art story. There.
I enjoyed that.
And I'll see if I can. I'm mispronouncing the name of the piece. Somebody in the fucking chat's probably already corrected me. But it's amazing to see in person because it literally takes up the entire fucking wall. And they actually let you take pictures. They didn't let you take pictures in the Guernica. I said Guardia. Guernica is what I was trying to think of. They don't let you take pictures in the Prado, but I did anyway on the sneak. But they let you take pictures in the Sophia Arena, which was named after the Queen, who was disgraced because her her husband was a crook. But anyway, we won't get into that. But
I appreciated that detour. The Ralph Amell is a man of culture.
Well, people
cool
are
to hear all
shocked
that.
when I talk about shit like this because they're like, "What? Like, oh,
Yeah.
he's a Xanax addict and he drinks," and it's like, well, yeah. I've had those problems for sure, but I don't know. A lot of fucked up people have loved art and writing. So, speaking of fucked up people, final thoughts on Worski. Where's he gonna be in 5 years?
Well, okay. So before I answer that, because I'm like making all these points and then I'm not finishing them, and then like 10
That's
minutes
fine.
later I'm going back to them. So, before
You
when
know
I was
what?
trying to get
Talk
What's up?
for 1 second. I'm gonna step away just for a second because if not, my bladder's gonna explode.
Okay,
and
sure.
That probably would not be good.
I got it, man. I'll hold the
But
floor.
yeah, you hold it down, and you're more than capable. And I'll be right back within like 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. What's going on, guys? So the next point that I wanted to make, so I was going to tell Ralph, Worski, Kino Casino, they gave me tons of shit about certain things, certain details about my life, which, I'm not even going to get into. But we find out that Tarski lives 3 doors down from his parents, Ashton Parks. We don't find out because every time you turn on his stream, you see this. But the guy is he's 30% bald at this point. Meanwhile, if anybody follows me on X, you've seen that the rumors as far as that relates to me, not so true. Not so true. So I think basically there's a lot of projection going on over there. Lots of projection. Ashton, Tartsky, they're both degenerate scumbags and losers and lowlives. They have absolutely nothing going on. And I'm not looking at the chat. I know people are going to start typing messages now, probably because I'm responding to. I looked at it a few times. I see, there's some seethers in the chat, and one of them said something like, "Oh, the reason why the Kino Casino started attacking you RPGs because you started liking Nick." Okay, completely and totally wrong. Not even fucking close to true. And kill yourself, actually. Not even, it's really amazing how people, they want to take the order of events, and this happens, I guess, but they take the order of events and they totally rearrange it so it fits their fantastical narrative. Not even, this is where the story begins, okay? Do you want to know where the story actually begins? The story actually begins when the Kino Casino signal boosted my docs for no fucking reason. Period. End of story. End of discussion. That's where the story begins. Okay, so you could take your retcon, you could take your fan fiction, and quite frankly, you could shove it up your ass. You could quite frankly, you could shove that up your ass, okay? Because that is a whole lot of bullshit. Then I see other people, the A-logs, they love to invoke Ali Alexander. Do you know who the only people on Earth who give a fuck about Ali Alexander in 2025 are? It's you guys. You people, nobody, like, that's, how old is that now? 2 or 3 years old? Like, that's asked and answered. Nick has not had any contact at all with Ali Alexander since, I don't know, like 2022. I think it's time to get over that one. Okay, I think it's time to move past that one. But they're
mad
right?
because, like, I was admittedly really fucked up the night the Smiley interview or whatever, and I shouldn't have said this.
Oh yeah, you are.
But I was like, you know what? I don't care. This guy got. By the way, he didn't actually get my Twitter account back. He just gave me the email to get it back. And I was like, I don't care what he does. He got my Twitter account back. You know, what the fuck? Like, I don't give a shit what he does. Now, that was a joke, obviously, but, like, people take that as, like, verbatim Bible verse at this point, and it's like, whatever. But, yeah, I think it's time to get over it myself. I don't know, you know, even what Ali's doing. But he did give me that email. So thank you for that.
Boy, Bay Shut It Down sent $1 on Rumble.
And they
Nick
fired
New,
that chick.
Stop sweeping.
He said, Nick New, stop sweeping. I'll let you answer that. But you know what? He gave me that email, and they should have never fired that woman. I forget her name now. But she answered every email, and she restored my account and the Killstream account. And then I said we should carpet bomb Afghanistan. Sorry, I'll let this go through.
Cartman with a heart sent $1 on Rumble. Ked, you blocked me on Twitter, I think for a feaster meme I made. I don't hate you. I think you're sweet, actually. I won't be mean to you. I'm just a sweet little guy. Ask Ralph, he'll tell you.
All right, well, you can decide on all these people. I like these guys. Yeah, Cartman, yeah, I like Cartman for sure. But it's like, okay, so I don't think she should have ever gotten fired. She restored me because it was an obvious spam report that got me taken down. It's hard to take down a spam account. Like, I had, I think, 80,000 followers at the time, getting close to 100K, Ted. But awesome. So thank you. But they still took me down. It was the night of the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs had won, unlike they lost this year. But whatever. And they won on like a last-second field goal, too. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then my Twitter account got banned right after, and I was like, oh, my God, this is even worse. And so, yeah, I did. I don't know if he reached out to me or I reached out to him. And he's like, here's the head of safety and control, wherever the fuck, at Twitter. And he said, email her, tell her what happened, and she'll restore you. And so I did that, and that's what happened. And then I got like another 7-day ban because I said we should glass Afghanistan because I thought they killed Lord Miles. I said we should kill everybody in Afghanistan, basically, on Twitter. And then she said, well, I can't really help you there because, you know, you obviously violated the rules. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. I did violate the rules on that one. And he ended up being fine anyway. But I always thought she was really cool. And it wasn't actually him that did it. He just gave me the contact information. So, and of course, I don't support molesting children. I have my own children, and you know, whatever happened with him and the teens and all that, sickening. Like, I'll say that now, but like at the time, you know, I was fucked up, and I'm just like, I don't care, whatever. Like, my Twitter account's back. Like, fuck all you fucks. I was in I was in drunken, like, pilled out Ralph Amell mode. You know what I mean? Like the full heel Ralph Amell, but also just like the full heel, like debaucherous Ralph Amell. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. I don't care. Do whatever you want as long as you get my Twitter account back. And they used that against me forever. And, you know, I shouldn't have said it, but like, I don't care. Whatever. So.
Well, as far as you know, there's that person. First off, I don't respond to $1 super chats. Okay, my time is worth a lot more than that. Ralph's time is worth a lot more than that. So, but I will make a one-time exception just because we're talking about it. You know, people are saying like, "Oh, stop sweeping, Nick knew." Okay, let me explain something to you people who don't know how this like politics shit works. Okay, Nick used Ali Alexander. You got it? Like that doesn't mean that he was in. Obviously, he doesn't endorse Ali Alexander. Obviously, he's got nothing at all to do with him at this point. But at the time, if people don't remember, Nick was basically persona non grata. You know, there was nobody in mainstream conservatism who wanted to associate publicly with him, right? So, like, as far as allies were concerned, it was slim pickings. And Ali Alexander, yeah, the guy's a disgusting pedophile freak. I'll say that. Ralph's not saying that. I'll say that. I'm sorry. I'm not saying you're not saying that. I just don't know what you're.
No, yeah.
I'm not trying to speak on your behalf. Like, I don't know.
I think there's fire where there's smoke, as far as that's concerned. Yeah. And so, from what I've seen, yeah, I think he was involved with some shady ass shit. And so, you know, if he gets arrested, put in jail, you know, he deserves his day in court. But yeah, I've seen enough to where, you know, I'm not gonna defend the guy. But like what I'm saying is that night, like I was fucked up and I'm like, whatever, like I don't care, like who cares? Like he got my Twitter account back and which he actually didn't fully do. I did. He just gave me the email, so I kind of feel mad at myself because I kind of like fucked up the whole narrative. But yeah, Ali Alexander is a sick guy in my opinion, and you know, what else can I say? Lock him up if they can. You're good, man. You're good.
Know, I'm not trying to, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot there.
I don't talk to him. I haven't talked to him. You know, I haven't talked to him in, I don't even know, 2.5 years. So like, I have no reason to defend him. Lock him up. Arrest him, as far as I'm concerned. But like, also, you know, he's, you know, he deserves his day in court like anybody else. People have accused me of things too. I think there's a lot more smoke where he's concerned. But you know, put him in jail if he molested kids. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Okay, so right, so the point that I was getting at is like, you know, Ali Alexander, okay, so let me try to collect myself here. So Nick, okay, right. So I got it. So at the time, right, like as far as allies and associates were concerned, it was slim pickings for Nick because he was basically blackballed by like Con Inc., mainstream conservatism, even like people who are like dissident right were blackballing him. Okay, Ali Alexander, like him or not, I don't like him. I doubt Nick ever liked him, to be honest with you. But like him or not, Ali Alexander was somebody who was very highly politically connected.
What's that?
Gristle0088 sent $10 on Rumble.
Oh, here we
RPG Respecter reporting for duty. RPG.
Yo.
Much missed from the internet.
I agree with that.
Fuck Andy Worski.
And fuck Worski. And finish this up, and we'll finish on Worski because like this is what the A-logs want. Us talking about Ali Alexander. You know what? Put him under the jail. Throw him off a roof. I don't give a fuck. You know what? He gave me an email one time, and I got my Twitter back. So you know what? Thanks for that. But you fuck kids, and you should get thrown off a roof. So like, you know, I don't give a fuck. Is that what people want me to say? Fine. I don't care. Like, you fucked children, and so I'm not going to defend that. I don't know Nick's relationship with him. I'm assuming he cut ties. You know, I don't talk to Nick.
He hasn't said his name once. Nick hasn't mentioned
that's what I'm saying.
The only people who are still talking about Ali Alexander, and this is not a sweep job for Ali Alexander.
No, it's not. Fuck him. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, do whatever needs to be done under legal law. But the night I said that, I was high on Xanax and alcohol, and it was like, oh, I got all these A-logs are saying shit. Who cares? Whatever. My Twitter's back. Fuck you. They were all celebrating because they thought, I mean, my Twitter account is like, other than this account, my show, it's the most valuable thing, right?
Nothing in exchange for it.
Exactly.
You gave up nothing in exchange. Like, that's it. Like, and it's one of those things where the A-logs, they could spin it in a way where, oh, Ralph is, Satan himself. But the reality is you got your account back, and it cost you literally fucking nothing. And as far as Nick is concerned, Nick used Ali Alexander, and look where Nick is now, and look where Ali's in a fucking ditch somewhere. Nobody has seen the guy.
Ali's probably going to jail before it's over with. And so, like, I don't know. I mean, people can, take whatever side they want. But I don't. I don't think Nick's associated with him. I hope not. Let's just put it that way. And so I have no inside knowledge. I haven't talked to Nick since everything happened. I know he wished me well in my rehab. Like, what am I supposed to say? Fuck that guy? Like, I mean, no, that was cool. He didn't have to do that. He also said, probably not going to work together. There was a lot of bad blood there. We'll see what happens. But, I disagree with him on some things, but a lot of things I agree with him on. And I was with Cozy. We had a lot of good times, and I don't renounce that. Fuck all these fuckers. Like, all these fuckers who sit on the sidelines and don't get on the field. You were on the field, RPG. Yep. All these other people were on the field. No matter what side of the field they were on the field. Even faggots like Worski, even faggots like PPP, they were on the field. All these people on the sidelines can say whatever the fuck they want to say. But, lock him up, throw him off the roof. I don't give a shit. I think he's facing charges, actually. And we'll see if that happens. But, like, I don't know. It's a non-issue to me at this point. It is a non-issue.
They're the only ones keeping it alive. Obviously they're going to clip this up and they're going to try. It doesn't fucking matter. Like,
no, of course they're going to clip it up.
That's what they're going to do anyway. So that's why, even though, like, there's a lot of times where I say things on stream and then afterwards, like my people, they'll be like, oh, RPG, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that because the A-logs did. Don't people get this by now? I don't fucking care. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want to say. And Nick used Ali. Look where Nick is now. Like, who came out ahead on that exchange? Like, it's really that simple. Welcome to fucking politics, okay? Like, Nick, he's a politician. And he came out ahead. He gets like 50,000 viewers on his largest streams now. And these people, they want to go, put Ali Alexander, put up. No one fucking cares. And anyway, I think we should return to the subject of the
Final
day.
Thoughts on Warski, and we'll roll some other people in here too. And I see Suffa Horse here in the chat. Ralph, start hollering or something. This is fucking gay. You know what? Give me money or get banned. Okay, banned. That's your decision. So goodbye.
Get eliminated.
Yeah, eliminated. Bye. See ya. But thoughts on Warski's future? Oh, go ahead, Gristle.
Gristle0088 sent $1 on Rumble. Your best call. Seeing through the fuck Nick stuff as the anti-Israel BS that is.
Yeah, you know what actually stopped me from the war on AF was October 7th, and it was like. And I'm not saying I disagree with Nick on the election and certain things, although, some things he said proved to be right, to be honest. But, still, it would have been the same under Kamala, in my opinion. But whatever.
I think it would have been a lot worse with Kamala.
Yeah, I mean, that's
overall,
that's
I think it's no comparison there. That's why,
that's what I think too.
I get a lot of the points Nick is making when it comes to his Trump criticism, but by and large, I'm absolutely loving the second Trump term.
Me too. Well, that was my point, and when he was he didn't. I kind of maybe stretched it that he endorsed Kamala, but it was almost that. And so I didn't like that, but I didn't get personal about it. I'm just like, you're wrong. And made a video or two or whatever. But what actually got me to say, you know what? I don't want to go against America first. This is, first off, I don't want to be Jaden. Like 3 years later, talking about America first every single day, like I'd rather die. Like I have a lot of other things to talk about, and a lot of other things. We just talked about museums and Las Meninas and fucking Picasso, and like I have a wide, and Hunter S. Thompson, and I have a wide variety of fucking intellectual interests, and talking about Nick Fuentes every single day, I'd rather blow my fucking brains out. So like if people,
not even Jaden wants to be Jaden. Like the guy,
right.
Not that I would know because I don't follow him, but from what I'm told, he doesn't even stream anymore because
he doesn't.
He's a prisoner of his own making. He's totally, just like Josh is owned by Kiwi Farms, so is Judas. Judas saw what happened when I stepped out of line, and when I decided that I wasn't going to dedicate my life to speaking about Nick Fuentes anymore and Ethan Ralph. And Judas knows that he's on the chopping block if he ever dares move on with his life. So,
and by the way,
so he just doesn't stream now because
I see
that's what they
Makoto.
want.
This is from the A-Log chat that I don't always read, but it's from Fag Farms. And they said, Ralph condoned the terror attack on October 7th. Yes, I do, actually. They're occupied people. They've been held in an open-air prison for 70 years. And I accept every Israeli death they inflicted on that country. So you can clip that and send it to whoever the fuck you want. So yes,
Send it to Gabe Hoffman.
I do. Yeah, send it to Gabe. Send it to whoever the fuck you want. I do condone every single Israeli they killed. And by the way, the Israelis did most of the killing. If you know the whole Samson option and all that shit, of course you probably don't. But yeah, I do condone that because under multiple international conventions, unoccupied people have the right to strike back in that way. So, not the Samson option, the Hannibal option is what I meant to say, by the way. But yes, I do condone every single Israeli they killed that day. So, fuck you. Do you think that? Do you think that's going to own me? Yeah, I've said that from the start.
So honestly, like when it comes to all that, I know like this is something that like a lot of dissident right wingers pay very close attention to. To me, it's like I honestly, the conflict that goes so far back, I know people are going to think like this is cocked or whatever. I really don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. So, but
that's fine. You know what? I respect your spot. Like, there's some people who say, you know what? It has nothing to do with America, and I have it's not my thing. You know what? I'm free Palestine. And if me and Hassan, there's nothing else we agree on, but by God, if we got together and we started talking about this, we'd be on the same fucking page. And you know what? They've been fucking killing Palestinians for tens of decades and murdering them and raping their children, raping their prisoners. And you know what? They got a little taste of their own medicine on October 7th, and they deserved every fucking drop.
I'm going to say base, not because like I don't really support the
you don't have to support what I said, but like I'm sticking by what I said, right? Like I don't give a fuck. They deserve that. Period.
Base that you have the balls to stand on business. Ralph is standing on business. I respect that. No,
you don't. Yeah, exactly. You're not co-signing it, but like that's my opinion. You occupy a people, you torture a people, you rape a people, you steal their fucking land, you fucking use American weapons to kill them while they're throwing rocks at you for decades and decades and decades. You deserve to fucking die. Period.
Go off, King.
Gristle0088 sent $5 on Rumble. 7th October.
I'll pull that up next, but that's my opinion. And do I want to see Israelis die? No, I'd rather see, I know the whole two-state solution thing is like, pie in the sky, whatever, but like that's really the only option. And so like that's what I have to support basically. From the river to the sea, that's not going to happen. Let's be real. But I'm a two-state solution guy. I know that's probably never going to happen either. But I'm not for Trump taking over Gaza and throwing out the Gazans. I'd rather see Trump meet his maker than see that happen, to be honest with you. So that's my fucking opinion. And I'm not pulling any punches, and I never have, and I'm free Palestine. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you A-logs. I don't give a fuck if I'm on the same team as Hassan. That's the one fucking thing he's right on. So fuck all you motherfuckers. Free Palestine, period.
That's great, man. Go on.
Sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the same clip as me with that, but like I don't give a fuck. Perfect. Like I literally don't give a fuck. But anyway, go ahead.
I feel like that's going to be really hard to follow up, but you were asking me my final thoughts on Worski. I mean, I'll kind of just reiterate what I said in the beginning. I think, like, obviously a complete and total imbecile. Ashton owns him. I'm not saying he's hands are clean, but I'm just saying, like, as far as who wears the pants.
James Gartner sent $20 on Rumble.
$20. I'll play that after. Go ahead. Finish up your thoughts, though, man. You've been great today, by the way.
Thank you, man. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, so, like, for me personally, like, I'm looking forward to hearing.
Oh, wow, more.
Cartman with a heart sent $1 on Rumble. You think it's funny when Israel suffers? I do, and I'm tired of pretending I don't. Free my nibba Palestine.
You know what? It's so funny because, like, people will turn that into Ralph hates Jews. I actually don't. But I hate what they've done to the Palestinians. Yeah. And I'm not going to pretend that I don't. I never have. And Hamas is a resistance group who had every right to kill every Israeli that they did, period. That's my view. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So I don't mind if the super chat interrupts me, because that's a good thing. We want super chats, but I'm going to try to get in this final thought without a super chat coming in. So you guys better not send in any super chats for the next 30
Please don't. Do not interrupt him with any massive super chats right now. That would be terrible.
Yeah, whatever you do, make sure it's not at least $50 or higher, okay? But as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by a deluge of super chats. So for me personally, when it comes to Worski, like I said, I don't really have a ton of history with him. So I'm actually looking forward to hearing what other people, like, part of what inspired me. Oh, damn it.
It was a $5.
Hoping that would have happened.
088 sent $5 on.
And by the way,
fuck neocons.
Fuck neocons, I agree. And guy, the faggot he used to be on, he thinks I don't know who he is, but he's the Jew faggot who used to be on Encyclopedia Dramatica, and I have his whole file if I wanted it, but I don't because he's not important enough. But I know exactly who he is, and he used to be a slave to some other bitch I won't talk about right now. But yeah, I know who you are, Zionist fucking scumbag. I know exactly who you are. Maybe the people in Kiwi Farms don't know who you are, but I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you are. And I know you're in Israel right now. And I hope you don't get too close to Gaza and something bad happens to you. That would be the saddest fucking day in my life if that happened. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so as far as Worski goes, like, I'm actually looking forward to hearing what other people have to say, because, like, other people have way more of a history with him than I do. I mean, obviously I can comment somewhat on this because of what happened with the Keno Casino. I was partly inspired to, originally I said I wasn't going to call in just because I was kind of skeptical about doing that.
You made this so much more based. Thank you, God, for doing this, by the way. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that I did. And honestly, like, not to shit on Sticks, but, like, to me, like, I felt like the stream needed a stronger opening than we got from not to shit on him. Like, he seems like a cool guy.
No, it's not shitting on him. He's more chill. I felt like he felt bad about, like, what Worski did rather than, like, righteous indignation. I think if he would have had the right clips, it would have been different. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't even cast a spell on Worski. Like,
I wanted the spell bad.
Okay, if you don't want to cast the death hex, fine, I could understand that. But can we at least get, like, a blood ritual?
I really wanted the fucking spell. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I so wanted that. But yeah,
like, I was ready to join in. I had my blade ready. I was ready to, contributing
No,
to the
I
blood
literally
ritual.
was gonna go get a knife. I swear to
saw.
God, out of my kitchen. Like, I wasn't kidding. I was gonna cut and like bleed on air. Like, I'm not kidding. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe not as deep as Sticks
Nah,
apparently goes.
I
Like, he
wouldn't
looks
go
like
that
he almost
deep.
lost his foot.
No, I wouldn't go that deep. I mean a small cut, but yeah.
But yeah, so my final thoughts is thanks for having me on. Honestly, like I really appreciate it. You gave
Oh,
me,
dude,
I
no,
appreciate
thank
the time
you,
you gave
brother.
me. It was
No,
a
thank you,
pleasure
brother. It's
speaking with
awesome.
you.
It was awesome.
And I think I got everything in. Honestly, I really don't know if there's anything else for now for me to say. So I think I'll just leave it there. And really appreciate it, bro. Thanks a ton.
And thank you. And by the way, there's another super chat.
Bristle0088 sent $5.
Now wait a
on
minute. We like
Fuck
Sticks.
Sticks and his gay leather
No,
jacket.
look, we like Sticks. He's just not as mean as us. Like, and he doesn't really. I actually believe him.
hasn't seen the clips
He
yet. I think
doesn't
that's
know
the
the whole
problem.
story, right? And
Right.
maybe I thought he did. Maybe I should have filled him in. Like, it's partially my fault. Blame me. Blame me, but give me super chats though. While you blame me. And thank you, Art. Man, RPG Ted, whatever the fuck. You're an example of, people always say, Ralph, and I do have feuds and stuff that goes haywire and stuff like that. But like, if somebody comes at me genuinely, or I come at them genuinely, and we can solve things, and we mostly agree on most things anyway, like, that's a beautiful thing to me. And I've always thought that's a beautiful thing. And it's why, people get mad at me even now. And it's like, oh, you say something nice about Fuentes or this and that. And it's like,
Right.
well, I mean, like, I still remember the good times, and like, I don't hate these people. Like, it was just a fucking internet beef. Like, we all go on air every single day and talk shit about everybody. And so Warski needs to perish, exit the mortal coil, to use a Shakespearean term. But there are some people you can never forgive, but for the most part, it's all, petty, especially the people who are really on your page originally anyway. And you've always been a great guy. I love your humor. Even I used to watch your show and snipe you. And I know you think it was for hatred maybe, but like, I actually like enjoyed watching your show. Like, that was the thing. Like,
Bristle0088
all the other shows
sent
suck.
$1 on Rumble. Did I miss Sticks? Oh no. Said no one ever.
Okay. Well, look, I feel like at the time maybe you thought it was, I was fucking with you. Well, no, it's because you were the most entertaining, like, A-log quote unquote show going on, right? And like, you had fresh clips, and you had the Sandra Ralph this and that, putting it over the screen, and it's like, all right, let's amp it up. All right, let's go to war. like, and again, it was tough, but I was doing tough things to you too, right? So like, I don't hold it against you or anything, but like,
Well, I think that's why we have like a common respect for each other now, because like there's something about, and like this also applies to Nick too, like to the people like who just cannot process the thought that like I don't completely despise Nick anymore. It's like, when you go through it with somebody like that and you lock horns and, like you actually, it's not unusual for people to actually like grow a respect for one another. I mean, look
it's
at like boxers, for example.
It's like boxers. Yes. It's like boxers or football players. Like, it's like, we went to war. We went to battle. George Foreman just died. Rest in peace, by God. One of my favorite athletes of my whole life. And he was bigger before I was born even, but like, yeah, you gain a respect for those type of people.
Right, like we're like gladiators in the arena, and like we after all is said and done, it's like, yo, like you beat the shit out of me, I beat the shit out of you. Good fucking shit, man. Like that's what you see in UFC. That's what you see in a lot of competition. Like that's what it was. Like we're like in competition, we're warring with each other, and it's like, okay, like the war, it's run its course. For me, the war has run its course. I wanted to move on with my life. These people, like, they wouldn't, that was unacceptable to them. They're like, no, you can't move on with your life.
Anonymous sent $10.
The Ralph boys.
Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people. and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
Wow.
I've
Breaking
never heard
news.
that clip. Wow, that
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's apocryphal or not, but yeah, thank you, brother, and I just completely agree with you. Like it's something about, and again, you know, I never hated you. Like we were just doing battle. Like it's for. Like, we had our own beliefs. We had our own thoughts. It's not that it was fake, but, like, I didn't hate this guy. I don't know. Maybe he hated me. I don't think so. But, like, it was just shit talk back and forth. We were on different sides. And it's like boxing, like you said, you know. You gain respect for the other fighter. And that's why you see it a lot of times, you know, in older age or after they're retired, or even sometimes while they're still fighting, even right after the match, it's like, hey, hugs, bro. Hey, it was all in the fight. Like, it was all in the game, right? Like, that's what it was about.
And then they go boating. And then they go Christmasing together.
World Wide Web Wizard sent $1 on Rumble. Ralph eating good tonight. Just $1, but fuck it.
All right.
It all goes to Felting Tards.
That's true.
R.I.P. George Foreman.
R.I.P.
Gonna be grilling Soam Strameyes and Rubens on his sick-ass grill tonight.
He did have a sick-ass grill. Hogan turned down that grill. What a mistake. RPG, tell them where they can find you, bro.
Currently, I'm basically only on X. At RPG on X is my handle, so if you guys want to follow me there. Other than that, I might, you know, I've been saying this. You know what it is? It's like, I have a lot going on in life, right? Good things, like all good things. And like, I do want to catch everybody up to speed, but like, I've been saying soon for like a year now. You know, unfortunately things take time and, you know, but I do eventually plan on streaming occasionally. It's never going to, cause you know what it is? It's like a lot of people say like RPG, you know, stream, when are you going to stream again? And honestly, at this point, like, not to sound like pretentious or anything, but like it's honestly not even really worth my time to stream. As far, it's just like taking.
Well, because you're making. People don't understand. Like you can do easier things that make more money outside of this. Even like right. Like anyway, go ahead. Sorry. I mean, some people get it, but so like others.
As far as that goes, you know, it's like I could either spend like, you know, an hour working and making pretty decent money, or I could spend an hour. And honestly, like if I stream, like no one's going to see. Everybody says RPG stream, but then I go live and like nobody super chat. So it's like, you know what, you know, like that's just the reality of the situation. Like I'm not going to stream for free. Sorry guys. Like, you know, no hard feelings. But like the reason why I was streaming previously is because I was like trying to do it as a job. And like, you know, once that's hard. No. Once that didn't work out, it's like, okay, well, now I need to actually do something else. And, you know, people online, they've made up a bunch of bullshit about what I do for a living. They don't know half of it. They don't know a percentile of it. They'll soon find out, but they don't know shit. And, yeah, so anyway, so I will eventually, I don't want to put a date on it because I honestly don't know when, but just to let people know what my future plans are, I'll stream occasionally just to, you know, shoot the shit, politics, whatever. Like, I'm not trying to get as deeply involved in the, you know, like the A-log stuff anymore, just because like I would have to move to Merida with Ralph if I was gonna.
Yeah, they can't find me.
Yeah.
Good luck, motherfuckers. Yeah, my lawyer, man, my lawyer. I shouldn't say this on there, but he said everything you ever heard about Mexican lawyers is true.
That is amazing.
So anytime any of you fuckers think you're gonna get me put in jail or do anything like that, it ain't gonna fucking happen. So anyway, by God, thank you so much.
That's all I got.
Yeah, thank you, Ted, man. You really helped fill out this show, and you didn't have to do that, and I really appreciate it. And anything you ever need from me, just let me know. If you want to come back sometime just to talk regular stuff. Although, you know, it's funny because it's the Fuck Worski Festival, but we were talking about Las Meninas and you know, all kinds of other wild stuff too. So like I meant what I said earlier in our segment. Like it's wild because I could easily see an alternate universe where you and I would be like, you know, co-hosts, right? You know what I mean? And we have a similar sense of humor, but like totally different deliveries, right? And I think it meshes well. And I hope to see you back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, real quick. I'm sorry because that would have been a perfect like close right there. But I just have to comment on that because you ever see the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I have, yes.
Okay. So like when you talk about how like in another timeline, like you and me could be co-hosts, it makes me think about that movie. And like I could see us like in a different universe. Like I could see that, because it's sort of like we're the odd couple. Like you wouldn't think it would be a good pairing, and like you saying that makes me think of that movie. So I just had to throw that in. But Ralph, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you having me. And fuck Andrew Warski.
Fuck him, Andrew Perez, by the way, and fuck his sister, who I'll fuck myself. And thank you, brother, and have a good weekend.
You too, bro. Catch you later.
All right, later on. Here we go, RPG Unexpected. I told you guys to expect the unexpected today.